Hey everybody, nice to have you here.
Welcome.
Welcome to Sample Music Festival.
Well, let me start by saying I'm really honored to stand here with you because he's my hero. Because of him, I'm doing this and I'm having so much fun making so much music. Because I'm a musician, I don't really build modules. I'm not a programmer. I'm more like a musician, DJ, turntablist, and well, yeah. It's, Luigi, he invented synthesizers, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Give a round of applause for Luigi.
Yeah, thank you. That means a lot for me, actually. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask you. Still, I've known you for maybe quite a while now. When did you discover this was even possible? So how did it go? And when did you say, hey, let me record a YouTube video to explain?
Yeah.
How did it go for you? What was the aha awareness moment?
To start with, turntablism was my passion since I was 13 years old. I started with hip-hop DJing, and later started battling and discovered turntablism for me. But also I always was some kind of synthesizer nerd. I like synthesizer and the sound they make. And at one point I started to collect and build modular synthesizers, what you see right here. So my problem was that I am not a musician, I'm a turntablist. You can call it a musician, but I can't play a keyboard or something like that. The good thing in modular synthesizers, or synthesizers in general, is you can play them with a keyboard, but there are sequencers and stuff like that, what is more hands-on, and you don't need to know and have the skill how to play a keyboard. But at some point, I thought for myself, why not control the synthesizer with my kind of keyboard, with my instrument. And I knew that there was...
Which year was this?
Man, I have to lie, I don't know.
2014 maybe?
Yeah, 2014 maybe.
Just curious.
Yeah, I don't know, I have to look on my YouTube page where I posted the first video.
I think that one was 2016, the video.
There was one video, there was not the term synthesizers invented yet. There was one video where I just experimented with modular synthesizer and the turntable. The idea yeah, I don't have, maybe have we now 2019, maybe 2014, 2013? Yeah, it could be. So I searched a way for me to control my synthesizer with my turntable, and I knew that there are guitar synthesizers, and they do exactly that what I want. The guitarist plays the guitar and controls the synthesizer, and I did a video where I fiddled a little bit around and had some experimentations, put it online, and actually I sent it to Alexander Sonnenfeld. So he did a series where you can send your patterns, your scratch patterns. I sent a pattern of mine and also this video. And he was like, fuck your pattern, this is really cool, what you doing here? And gave me the opportunity to present this what I'm doing in the Cuba Scratch University with him. And I think the term synthesizers wasn't invented then. The idea for synthesizers came after that. I don't know how. Maybe maybe through the portablism community or stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a logical thing. But the portablism, synthesizers.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's good. Synth and turntablism. And later I should do not a tutorial, a lecture at the Sample Music Festival, but I couldn't come. to the Sample Music Festival. And I did a whole video explaining how my system works, how I translated audio from a turntable into a synth, and how I can incorporate the crossfader. And this video, after the Sample Music Festival, went online, and it some kind of exploded for such a nerdy video. And yeah, I think sometime at some point I sent it you a video from me because I saw you playing a set with the Korg MS-20.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an old school synthesizer. They re-released it as the Korg MS-20 Mini, and I thought, man, the Korg MS-20 has everything in it to be.
Everything you need. Yeah,
it's everything you need. And I wrote KYPSKI, and he told me that he already knew the video, which blew me away.
Your video.
Yeah, you told me you already watched the tutorial.
Yeah.
Was already on the idea, which blew me away that you already seen the video.
Oh, it's good to hear that. Yeah, for me it was just the synthtablism started by watching your video and having some kind of mind-blowing effect in my head going on. Like, this should be so much bigger than it is now, and I can imagine what to think of the power. You know, the musical power it can give you, and I was like really seeing the whole possibilities of it, and that's how it started for me actually. And then that was for me the trigger to get into modular, because I wasn't into modular at all. I had an MS-20 like you said, and I had the machine and a tractor and a turntable, and I was doing live remix stuff like that also in my live shows and the sets. And I thought, I don't need modular, I'm fine with my Ableton, fine with the machine, I can do the finger drumming, and I'm happy. And then I saw this tutorial video, and I was like, oh, let me stop doing this right now. But the question is why? We both know why we are enthusiastic about this, but why are we talking in this way about this? For me, personally, it is the possibility of not using samples like we heard before in the previous lectures, just to combine synthesis, actual sound synthesis with scratching, and to scratch new sounds instead of a sample or whatever sample you're scratching with. You can do it without any sample. You can really make sounds, and yeah, even maybe in the future we can really do real synthesis, like a real synthesis, like scratch synthesis or something, and create sounds for sound design. And also for me, I've been working with samples such a long time and releasing records. It's a bit problematic now using samples, you know, with rights, copyright and whatever. So that problem is solved, and it has a lot. Of course, I have one little sample player in my system here, and that's the Pico drums, which I loaded some percussive breakbeat kind of drums in. But I think that's the only sample in there. Yeah, for me that was the motivation, and that's why I just, your stuff just blew my mind. And yeah, it's only the beginning, I think. Shall we do a little live?
Yeah, we can do
session?
a run through if you want to explain what.
So what are you applauding for? For making some music or for? Yeah.
Music.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Who's gonna start?
The run first, maybe we can understand better.
What we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do a really quick run through. So our both systems are equally the same as different. So the basic concept is the same, but we use different methods to achieve the same goal. So in my system, it's like I have a dedicated section for a bass. So I can show you that right now. Oh, that's not a bass. And like you see, I can play the bass right here, which is patched here, with my sequencer controller right here. But also I can play the bass with the pre-sequenced, pre-made sequence. It should play.
There it is.
And like with a real, with all synthesizers, I can manipulate the sound right here. So that's the bass section. Then to have a little more harmonics in my system, I have here a little section with a little chord section, which sounds like this. I can manipulate it a little bit. So, then I have here 3 drum modules, which I also sequence with the sequencer right here. You see me fiddling around here, here's a mixer. So all sounds that are sequenced right now, I can mute them or put them on. Something like that. But the most interesting thing is the synthtablism voice. Here I have a synthtablism voice. What's happening is I have a vinyl which has a constant tone on it, or in our case we have phase, which sends out a constant tone. We analyze this tone to a CV, and the CV controls the behavior of an oscillator. Oscillator giving us a synthesized tone, the basic waveform, which sounds like this. This sound not comes from the turntable, it comes straight from the oscillator. And the frequency from the oscillator is analyzed by a frequency to CV converter. And when I change the pitch or the frequency of the turntable, now it changes the pitch of the oscillator. I even can change the sound. But this is not enough for a turntablist. So what we need also is a crossfader to cut the sound, to put it off or on, but also to send a signal to an envelope generator. What the envelope generator does, it gives a progressing CV. And the progressing CV goes to a filter, giving us filter sweeps. Also I have a delay in here to thicken up the sound a little bit, and the time of the delay is also controlled by the crossfader. So it depends how fast I cut.
And you built this crossfader yourself, right?
Yeah, the crossfader is built by me. It's simple, you call it manual gate circuit, and in a regular synthesizer you have just a button to activate the gate. Like here on the drums, for example, there is a manual gate, so you can activate them on the module itself. What I did is put in a crossfader, which does the same job as the button. And now with everything pitched the right way, I can make scratch sounds with my synthesizer. But also I have another sequencer line going into the oscillator, so I'm not just manipulating it by hand, but also with the sequencer. Sounds something like this.
Quick rundown of this system, or let's just...
If you want to, I'm interested in it.
Okay, you are. Then maybe other people are too. Well, yeah, it's also, of course, I'm performing synthesizers. But as you can see, I'm using a mixer, and Luigi, he's kind of built his own. He doesn't need a mixer anymore. I don't have the crossfader yet. Hopefully you will build one for me. But till that time, I need to use this mixer. And what it does is it cuts the phase signal that goes into the pitch to CV. It cuts it like cutting a sine wave, and that goes straight into my maths module, which generates an envelope, which goes into a comparator, which generates a gate signal for my ADSR, which opens my final VCA for the lead scratching, like the lead sounds that I use. Let me see. Okay. It's a bit on the soft side, the volume, but can you turn it up a little bit? So it's the same effect as using a crossfader, a gate crossfader by Luigi. So this way the gates are generated in another way. Doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that there's gates to have the crossfader movements. But I kind of got crazy with his concept, so I was it's really a mess of wires here, and I tried to modulate as many parameters as I could find that can be modulated with an interesting effect, of course. And I discovered by doing that, and the stuff I'm doing lately, I can kind of layer different, because I'm modulating like 3 or 4 parameters, like this record is modulating the cutoff of my bass sound, and it's also modulating the decay time of my reverb. It's also modulating, like what you hear, this the formant frequencies of my bridge module, and in that way I can also make sounds not by, I don't necessarily have to scratch really quick or really like really do really turntablism stuff to make sounds. I can also do stuff like this. Let me see if I just spin the record. This is the verb module by Make Noise. So by doing that, there's like, I discovered there's like macro and micro movement. So the really fast scratching turntable stuff is more like micro modulation, but this swoosh, this kind of stuff, it's more like it's like another layer on top of the scratching that you're already doing. So I have also for the melodies, I have here a Doepfer micro keyboard. So yeah, that's this is all 2 layers already, so I'm scratching with the braids and generating the swooshes with the verb by Make Noise. And I was also talking about the cutoff frequency of the bass. if I turn up the bass and really almost close it. If I think, well, this bass. Of course, I want to change the bass sometimes and make it even interesting. And this is a precision adder which just alters transposes the bass. So, well, this is just one part of the system. And I noticed we both use the same performance mixers, actually.
Yeah.
The dupe for...
I actually got it just a week ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I always used the big mixer with faders and stuff like that, but to go live with it, it was a mess.
Yeah.
That is something what you did. So my idea of synthtablism was to use it in the studio and experiment with it, and you came up with the idea to put together a system which you can take outside. My current system at home is those two big boxes, and it's not portable at all. So
it's big really fast.
Yeah, it's getting big really fast. And he came up with the idea to have a nice case with all in it to perform live, which was not my intent at first.
That's funny, yeah. That's like the first thing that I just wanted to do is perform live and show it to people and see how awesome this is. So that's how I probably will change. I would like to do more melodic stuff actually in my music in the coming years. But this is right now where it's at. So then I also have the drum machine for that. This one is the drum doctor by Synth. And this mixer we were talking about, which is inside our racks, is the Doopfer PC performance mixer. And it's a bit like a DJ mixer actually. I think it's a Doopfer mixer. It's the most DJ type Doopfer mixer out there, I think. With the switches, just flick a switch and then it's there. It doesn't have crossfader, but
maybe we can cut on it old school
style
with the switches and stuff
transform
like that.
Like Aaaah Fresh with the Doopfer mixer. But the nice thing is, well, as you can see, anything can be modulated. So it's not about can I play a melody. Yes, of course you can play. You can do anything. So about when I'm playing live, I'm improvising a lot. And I think it's really important to, if you're not really comfortable with improvising, just try to get better at it, because it's really, especially with modular, it's really, that's where the happy accidents are and where some really crazy stuff happens that you didn't even plan. So yeah, try to improvise. But yeah, if I'm doing DJ battles with it, then I have to make some routines, so it's going to be exciting.
And you actually won a DJ battle.
Yeah, a small one. Yeah, small. Yeah. The cut-to-cut battle in England, UK. But I didn't actually battle on stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Like we're here and then let's battle, and that's going to be if, for example, if the Goldie Awards will take me to New York to battle, then we'll have to practice routines, with the modular. So, and if everything fails, I can improvise. If my routine fails, I'm like, okay, just keep going, improvise. I go crazy, and then see what happens. So, all right, shall we do a little duet?
Yeah.
Alright.
You start.
Yeah. We should do that another time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Trippy. Well, let me know, are there any questions? Complaints?
Here we go.
Bob, yeah.
I just need to ask, like, do you need that many wires?
Yeah, I hear that a lot, yeah. Why the spaghetti?
Yeah, actually I just throw a bunch of cable on the system that it looks a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But actually, to be honest, you don't need that much cable. You can buy a MS-20 or something like the, how is it called, Scava or something like this? Sonderschooler, where are you? It's not there. He has one. It's a synthesizer which is made for being controlled with audio. And there are a lot of semi-modular synthesizer you can use. And actually then you will need not that many cable.
Yeah, but as your plans get bigger and greater and your mind goes on, then it can end up like this and it can end up like this. So yeah, it's quite dangerous actually, the whole modular thing. But yeah.
You're both using time code there, yeah? So just a single sine wave.
Yeah, the phase custom
wave.
wave.
Have you experimented with using like actual vinyl record, maybe like an old jazz record or something that gives a varied signal?
Well,
so that as a source. Have you experimented with that, or is it too messy?
Well, I think we both experimented with that.
Yeah.
And well, for this, for me it's too messy.
It's too big, yeah, too random.
Because you need a constant, stable tone without, like preferably like phase without the rumble of the turntable, and like to make this to really play with this as an experiment, it might give great results. Yeah, sure, yeah.
But what I actually did is I cutted a record, not with music on it, but with LFO tones and stuff like that, and rising tones, and with that you can get pretty far. You have a progressing tone, which sounds more like a sample then afterwards. And what you can do is fed in, for example, a drum or something like that. You can do cool stuff with it, but to have actual musical composition with more layers, it will result in noise, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Noise is good.
Noise is okay.
Nothing wrong with noise.